Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan says he's determined to see Russian grain exported to low-income countries. He's met President Vladimir Putin on the sidelines of a regional summit in Kazakhstan. Erdogan says he wants to strengthen the Istanbul agreement so poor countries get the grain and fertilizer they need. The Russian president also proposed setting up a regional gas hub in Turkiye. We have two correspondents on this story. In a moment, we'll hear from Sinem Koseoglu in Istanbul. But first, let's speak to Mohammaed Vall in Moscow. So what exactly are the Russians proposing when it comes to a gas hub, Mohammed?
Yes, Sami, President Putin proposed the creation of this gas hub for distribution of Russian gas from Turkey, saying that Turkey is a reliable partner and a partner that has the ability and the means to do this job. And also Turkey has the confidence of both sides, and it is well placed apparently to be this go-between between Russia and the European partners. Russia has been talking about this for some time as an idea, and it seems that it is well received in Turkey. The spokesman of the Kremlin spokesman, Dmitry Peskov, said later after Putin's statements that the two leaders are okay for an immediate start on that project. And also the two companies, Gazprom and Gazprom, the Russian, and Botas, the Turkish pipeline corporation, have even begun to talk about it, and they are also ready to launch such a project. It's not clear if this is going to be a new pipeline that is going to be constructed, no details about that yet, or is it going to be channeled through the Turk Stream, which is in the Baltic Sea. That's a Russian pipeline that takes gas from Russia to Turkey. So it's too early to have all those details, but it seems that the two sides are okay on this idea. And they also said, Peskov said that Russia and Turkey did not consult with the Europeans about it, and it is something decided only between Turkey and Russia.
All right, thanks so much, Mohammaed Vall. Let's bring in Sinem Koseoglu. She joins us live from Istanbul. So let's start, first of all, Sinem, on that issue. How are Turkish officials reacting to Russian suggestions of a gas hub in Turkey?
Well, Sami, as my colleague also stated, Russian President Vladimir Putin has been saying this since yesterday. He spoke at an energy summit yesterday. And so far, we haven't heard anything from the Turkish officials yet. But of course, we don't know what is spoken behind the closed doors, especially, for instance, after this press conference, two leaders spoke for 1.5 hours. Turkey is already an energy transmitting center. It transfers energy from east to west, and this is one of Turkey's great plans to be a major hub for Europe. And there are already pipelines that are transferring different gas and oil from different companies. But of course, this is a very delicate issue for Turkey because we are talking about a new system that is going to provide Russian gas to the European countries. And the tension between the West and Russia is on the rise. The Europeans are desperate for cheaper energy, and President Putin stated that this can be also a good platform to review energy prices, which have skyrocketed. But apparently Turks and Russians are already studying on this matter to see how it can be handled. But definitely when it comes to energy and energy trade and the pipelines, there are so many regulations. We should also keep in mind that Turkey should consider possible sanctions from Europe because of the current tension that is going on between the West and Russia. So far, as I said, we haven't heard anything from the Turkish officials, but definitely they will try to take benefit of this as long as it is in line with Turkey's interests with the European Union and its relations with them.
All right, we have been hearing something, though, from Turkish officials when it comes to Russian fertilizer and grain. What exactly is Turkey proposing?
Well, Sami, when the UN brokered Ukraine grain deal was signed back in July in Istanbul, another document was signed with the Russians separately from Ukrainians, which would allow Russian fertilizers and grains to be delivered to the world. And since then, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has been stating that the grains and fertilizers, Russian grains and fertilizers, should reach to the world market, especially to poorer countries first. And what Erdogan said today is not something new, but of course, this is also a good advantage for Turkish President Erdogan, because the UN brokered Ukraine grain deal gave him some credibility when it comes to his relations with the West, and those relations have been strained for a while, as we all know. So this can also create another chance for Turkish president to mediate between the West and Russia again when it comes to grain fertilizers. Also, regarding your previous question, let me say that President Putin, who's been stuck with the gas exports of his country, is also trying to give some leverage to the Turkish president so that he can have the leverage to mediate between the West and Russia, which can bring Erdogan more credibility.
All right, thanks so much. Sinem Koseoglu there.